You gotta keep on breathing if you want to make sense of it all.
All right, let's take a comfortable seat. Sukhasana, sit nice and tall. You can take a mudra if you like. I'm just going to take Jan mudra, thumb and index finger together. Let the wrists rest on the back of the knees. Let the elbows soften. Let the shoulders fall down away from the earlobes. And just feel firm yet relaxed as you sit here. Tempting and accepting to be content and comfortable. If you, of course, need to move and need to stretch the legs, please do. Maybe the eyes are closed. Maybe you take a soft gaze just down in front of you. And allow your focus to come into the present, letting go of your day so far, letting go of what is to come later. Be with yourself, your body, your mind, here and now. Allow the steadiness, the smoothness, the fluidity of your breath to flow effortlessly from root to crown on your inhale. And from crown to root on your exhale. And as you find that spinal breath, notice how you feel physically, mentally, emotionally. Take in and listen to the answer of how you feel as you sit here, preparing yourself, bringing your mind and body and soul into harmony and balance, ready for your Sivananda 12 practice. Keep going with that spinal breath as it rises up to the crown and then lowers down to the root on your exhale. It's easy to forget that you only get one body, just as it's easy to eat too much or eat too little. It's easy to want to trade it in for another body, a more beautiful, a more flexible body that always wakes up on the right side of the bed without that creaky knee, without that bad ankle or that sore back. It's easy to forget because we forget that behind rust there is shine. When you return to yoga after days, weeks, months, or even years, and rust has set up camp on your creaky bones and joints, and cobwebs have formed in your too tight muscles, remember, behind rust, there is shine. Behind that second muffin is a desire to be happy. Behind that cup of coffee is a desire to feel alive. Behind everything you do for yourself, there is love and compassion. And remember, behind rust, there is shine. So take those deep breaths to moisten the cloth and grab your polish. Under the hardened layers of the heart, uncover the hidden inscription embedded in gold. Behind rust, there is shine, and you will always be enough. Release the mudra. Wiggle fingers, bring movement back into the hands, back into the wrists, circling one way, circling the other. Take that into the elbows. So you might just gently circle in the air, get into the elbow joint one way and the elbow joint the other way. And then relax the hands down by the side of you as you draw those shoulders up and back. Breathe in, lift them up. Breathe out, release them down. One more, lift up and release. Lift the legs, bring the legs out in front of you and just find a nice comfortable hug. Releasing belly over the thighs, let the hands drop down to the ankles or the shins, the navel gently pulls back to the spine. And we just release into this gentle flexion of the spine, letting the head drop down towards the knees. Softening between the shoulders. Feeling the spine rounding, releasing. And then nice and slowly bring yourself back up. The legs might straighten if that feels good to do so, or they can stay bent. Hands come back behind you. Fingertips face forward. You might go on the fingertips or the palms. And the legs can stay relaxed and lift the gaze in a gentle back bend. We're opening the chest, opening the sternum, pulling the shoulder blades together, lengthening from the lower back. And maybe the gaze looks to the sky as you support the weight of the head. Breathe in, bring yourself back into center, and then swing the legs around behind you and come into your tabletop position for cat and cow. Closing the eyes if you wish to once more, drawing inwards to this breath-led movement through flexion and extension. In our practice today, the Sivananda 12 is a real Hatha Yoga practice for the spine, strengthening, mobilizing, supporting, and offering flexibility through flexion, extension, lateral side stretches, and rotations. So start to feel the spine moving. Focusing on that spinal breath and releasing back into child's pose. Exhaling, buttocks back to heels. Maybe the head is supported by the hands or a block, or the fingertips reach forward as you melt to the floor. Taking a few moments just to be guided by your breath here. Softening any engagement of muscles. Relaxing into the joints. Noticing how the body feels. And with the forehead connecting to the earth, draw into your own intention for practice what you need most, what resonates with you, maybe from that reading. Behind rust, there is shine. Coming forward as you breathe into tabletop, tucking the toes, exhaling, coming into downward facing dog, releasing the heels, left and right. And again, just being guided by how the body starts to respond to what you're asking of it. If anything feels uncomfortable or risk of injury or pain through the practice, always take a modification. Releasing on the exhale, both heels draw to the floor, pressing chest back towards the thighs, lifting those shoulders away from the ears, drawing navel to spine. Looking forward to the front of the mat, start to walk the feet steady in towards the hands. When you get to the front, take the feet hip width or together. Let the belly, the chest come down over the thighs. Feel the weight distribution through the feet. I like to rock forwards and backwards And then I can release, taking hold of the elbows into that forward fold and just give myself a little sway from side to side. You do what feels good. Come into stillness, release the hands down to the floor, maybe starting to straighten through the back of the legs, not over forcing here into the spine or the hamstrings in that Uttanasana. Coming to stand as you like. Maybe that's rolling up. Maybe that's a flat back. Arms come out to the side of you, bringing you up all the way. And maybe you introduce just a little back bend here, lifting the arms up towards the sky, opening the chest. Maybe the gaze goes to the thumbs and the thumbs press back behind you. Bring into center and bring the hands down into the heart center, Anjali Mudra for Samastiti, as you find your position for our Surya Namaskar. We're going to go through 3 rounds. And Surya Namaskar from the Sivananda lineage is with our crescent lunges, our low crescent lunges. Inhale, upward salute. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back right. Find the low lunge there, hands stay down, and then inhale back into plank, lowering knees, chest, chin to the floor. Find a nice low cobra, and then push back as you breathe out to down dog. Take 3 breaths. Looking forward, right leg steps through. Drop the back knee. Keep the arms down, lift the chest, sink the hips. Nice. Springboard off the back foot, come forward, exhale. There's no half lift here, but we simply bring the arms up. Palms might meet together into that upward facing salute. And then the exhale happens, hands to heart. Inhale, lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, release, step back left. Find the breath on the inhale. The exhale to sink. Step back on your inhale to plank. Lower down on your breath out. Inhale, cobra. And tuck the toes back into downward facing dog. 3 breaths once more. If you need to come to tabletop or child's pose in these down dogs, please do. Looking forward, bringing the left leg through. Arms stay nice and low. We just sink the hips, toe is tucked behind you. And then springboard off those back toes, exhaling straight into Uttanasana. No Ardha Uttanasana on the return. The arms sweep up, bring you into that upward facing salute, maybe with a back bend, and the hands come back into the heart center Samastiti. Repeating this on the right and the left once more. We're only going to do 2 rounds. So lifting up as you breath in, folding on the breath out. Inhale, half. Step back right. Inhale, plank. Lower. Cobra. Down dog. using the breath. Looking forward, right leg steps through. Lift the heart, keep that back toe tucked. Step forward, fold on your breath out. Breathe in, use the core, use the spine, all the way up to the salute. And we'll continue to go straight down on the fold. Exhaling. Inhale, half lift. Step back left this time. Back into plank as you breathe in. Find the strength through some of these postures. Find the back bend of cobra. And back into downward facing dog once more. Looking forward, left leg comes through. Placing between the hands, keeping that back toe tucked, sinking those heels down. Nice, chest lifted. And springboard forward, exhale into that fold. Inhale, use the core, use the strength of your spine, bringing you back into that upward facing salute. And then hands come down past the face, settling back at the heart, noticing maybe the heart rate has increased, going up, down, forwards, backwards, through those Surya Namaskar. We're going to come down into our first posture of our Sivananda 12. Breathing in, lift it up. Breathe out, fold it down. Breathe in, half lift. And step back into plank. Lower down the knees and come back to kneeling at the back of your mat. Just rest the hands down onto the thighs. So our Sivananda 12 starts with Shirshasana, headstand. So you can, of course, take an alternative, a modification. You might move to a wall for support. And finding your place for Shirshasana with a headstand, we're going to go for a supported headstand using our triangular frame, not a tripod headstand. Crown of the head comes down. Finding that stability, tucking the toes, and maybe you stay here. Maybe you go up into your headstand position. We hold for 5, 10, or even 15 breaths. Coming down when you're ready, release to a child's pose. Hands come back to the hips. Let the head relax, soften through the neck and the shoulders. And then slowly roll up through the spine, come back into that kneel. And just notice how that headstand felt. Good. So with our Sivananda, we start to work from the top and we go all the way down to the root. So you can spin yourself around and come into our second posture of Sarvangasana, which is our shoulder stand. But what I'd say is shuffle all the way forward because we're going to need all of that room behind us. Rolling down through the spine, drawing knees in, giving yourself a little hug there. So again, choosing an option that works for you. Maybe it's a supported shoulder stand with a block or a bolster underneath the pelvis with the legs up in the air. Maybe your hands come behind the spine and the legs go up to the sky into that shoulder stand, Savangasana. So whichever posture you're choosing, whether it's supported or whether the hands are behind the spine, making sure that you keep looking up towards the toes. Try not to turn the head looking towards the screen if you're putting weight into the neck here. Keep the neck long, chin lightly away from the chest. Again, your choice between 5, 10, or 15 breaths. If you need to come down at all, please do, but we are going straight into our third posture, which is halasana, plow pose, or snail. So maybe the knees bend and they drop down towards the ears. Again, you can still be supporting your spine with a bolster or the hands, and maybe the feet drop back behind you towards the floor. They might be floating, and the hands might release from the spine. Again, the neck stays long, chin away from the chest. Try and breathe deep in plow or snail. Coming out when you're ready, rolling down through the spine. Each and every vertebra comes down to the mat very, very slowly, using the hands as brakes until the back comes down, legs go up to the sky, and you start to then lower the legs all the way to the floor, pulling the navel in towards the spine, spine in towards the mat. When we get there, we just take a moment to rest in Shavasana. Resting out the neck, resting out the chest and the shoulders. We spread the shoulder blades apart. If you need to release the neck left and right, please go ahead, do so certainly after shoulder stand and plow. Coming into our fourth posture, Matsyasana, fish pose. Hands come underneath the body. You can bend the knees up, place the soles of the feet down to bring the hands underneath the buttocks. Palms are face down, and then you can lengthen the legs along the mat once more. Lift up onto the elbows. Bring the shoulder blades together and open the heart center. Nice. And then you can keep the head looking forward along the body. Lengthen the neck, supporting it with the muscles, looking to the sky, or maybe you like to let that head drop back behind you. Imagine someone was holding you between your shoulder blades, lifting up the sternum. And coming down, we just simply widen those elbows, release the body to the floor, and take the hands away. Spread the shoulder blades, spread the rib cage, spread the waist, Take a moment to relax. Maybe you felt that in the hands because the buttocks, the lower body weight, pressing on the hands underneath you. So we're starting to move down into the shoulder area, the chest, the upper back. So here, if you like, you can draw the knees in and just gently roll out, or you come up to seated. And we come into our seated forward fold, our Paschimottanasana. Sitting nice and tall, letting the flesh come away from the sit bones, relax the shoulders. Nice. Breathe the arms in, lift up. Maybe the feet are flexed, maybe they're relaxed, and bend the knees if the hamstrings feel a little tight. Reach up and lengthen over. Start to fold and hinge from the hips with a flat back. And at some point, the hands are going to come down in front of you, maybe taking hold of the big toe or just resting on the ankles, the shins, or the floor. Letting the shoulders soften away from the ears, relaxing through the facial expression, and then you might like to go deeper into the fold by letting the head drop down. Navel pulls gently back to the spine. And you might give yourself that little wiggle, releasing the flesh from the sit bones. Breathe in to lengthen the spine. Nice flat back. And then bring yourself back up to seated. Hands come back by the side of the hips, just in a gentle staff pose. So we're just drawing those elbows in towards the midline, flexing into the feet, sitting nice and tall. Again, firm yet relaxed posture. And then swing the legs all the way around behind you. Maybe you need to shuffle forward just a little bit as we come down onto our belly. And here we're starting to come into our back extension postures. We have 3. So the first one is our cobra, our bhujangasana. So you can just gently release out any tension into the lower back by shimmying and rocking the hips from left to right. Choosing your cobra position or maybe a sphinx, but I widen my feet just a little bit wider than hip width. And the hands come underneath the shoulders. Fingertips are spread wide. Roll the shoulders away and just come up to wherever you feel you need to stay and hold. 5 breaths, long, slow inhales and exhales. Glutes are engaging. Back muscles firing up. Abdominals engaged. The inhale lifts you, the exhale holds you there. And then lower down, head to the hands, big toes touch. Again, just releasing out through the lower back and the buttocks. Second back extension is our locust or shalabhasana. I'm going to give you a couple of options. You can choose which option you like to go with. The hands can release back behind you. Maybe they're by the side of the hips, and you can lift the upper body. You can lift the lower body. You can lift both. You might like to interlace the fingers, pressing the knuckles back towards the heels, drawing the shoulder blades together. And again, upper body might lift and the lower body might lift as well. Third and final option is hands come underneath the body. Palms are face down, little fingers are connecting. You're resting on your chin, looking towards the front of your mat, and then you might lift the legs. On the fourth class of my day, I find it struggle to lift there. So find the option that works. I did that Shalabhasana twice today. This would be the third time. So I'm taking a much lesser posture for myself. You do you, I'll do me. And lower it down, release the cheek to the mat. Keep the hands down by the side of the hips and relax the chest and the shoulders. Ooh. Third back extension, our Dhanurasana or our bow pose. Reaching back, taking hold of the feet or the ankles. They can be flexed, they can be pointed. Again, choosing options. Maybe the legs stay down and you just lift the upper body. And you know what? That's where I'm going to stay. Maybe you lift the thighs off of the floor into bow. And finding that breath. Breathe long, slow, deep. We're here for 5. Opening the chest to the front. Those knees are parallel with the hips. We're smiling, relaxing through the face, enjoying our back bends. And we take it down, we lower, we take it to the opposite cheek. Hands stay down by the side of you and relax. We release into those hips, into the lower back just a little bit. Bring the hands forward and just press yourself up into your tabletop position. Find a cat and cow. And just notice, has the back become a little bit more free, a little bit more mobile? My back arches are a little bit, they feel a little bit more improved, a little bit more mobile. And then come back to kneeling at the back of the mat and just find an upright position. Settling the head, settling the neck, settling into that nice long spine. So a few more postures to come in the 12. Almost there. We're going to swing those legs around in front of us for our Ardha Matsyendrasana, seated twist. So extending the legs, placing the right leg over the left, and you can of course keep that leg there and keep that leg straight. You might like to just wrap it back behind you, that's okay too. And just sit nice and tall, dropping that buttock down to the floor and then finding your twist from there. We're opening the chest out to the right side of our mat. We're twisting towards our right leg. Pulling down that big right toe. Inhaling, lengthening the spine. Exhaling, deepening the rotation. Breathe in, release the torso back into the center. Keep spinning, keep going. Lifting the feet, lifting the legs, lifting the buttock. And spinning all the way to the other side. Left leg finds its way in front. And right leg might curl back underneath you or extend forward. Sit nice and tall, dropping both buttocks to the floor, and then clear the belly from the thigh. Maybe hugging that knee, maybe placing the elbow over. So again, we're pulling down left buttock, left big toe. Rotating to the left side of our mat, opening the chest, relaxing the shoulders. Inhale, lengthen spine. Exhale, deepen the rotation. Inhale, come back into the center. Keep spinning that direction. We're going to continue to lift up. And this time we're going to come all the way around to face the front of our mat. And just release the feet. Hands come out in front of us. We're preparing for our crow pose, our arm balance. So hands come down to the floor. Start to position yourself wherever you need to be for that crow, maybe using a block to lift the legs, lift the hips up. And again, bringing your knees down to the upper arms or into the armpits and finding that kakasana or bakasana, crane or crow. If you can, holding for 5 breaths. I did about 3. Even if you just lift a toe off of the floor. Nice. We're lifting sit bones up towards the sky and breathing. Nice. Well done. Coming into our forward fold from here. So releasing heels. Maybe the feet are together, maybe they're apart. Lengthen the belly away from the thighs and then take your Uttanasana, forward fold. Hands might be wrapping around the back of the calves here. Pulling the body gently towards the legs. There may be a soft bend into the knees. Let the head, the neck become soft and relaxed. Crown of the head reaches to the floor. Sit bones reach to the sky. If you need to level off head and heart rather than be in an upside down inverted position, you can simply lengthen the spine and bring the elbows onto the knees. Head then becomes in line with the heart. Maybe holding for just a couple more breaths before we release the hands from the calves. And then bring yourself up very, very slowly to stand. So how you do that is your choice, whether it's a flat back or you might like to take
10 counts to roll. We draw the navel in towards the spine. Each and every vertebra brings you all the way up. Take the time to bring the head, the neck, and then releasing the shoulders down, releasing the fingertips, stretching to the floor. And as we stand in this strong, tall, upright position after all of our 11 postures that got us here, just notice now the spine, notice the head, notice the shoulders, notice how you feel. You might like to close the eyes, you might like to keep them open, or a soft gaze at the front of the mat. So if you're like me and you're at the middle of your mat, just gently walk forward all the way to the front, bring the hands into Samastiti. We're going to move into our final posture through some Sun Salutations. Just get the spine a little more mobile, breathing in, lifting it up into your upward facing salute. Exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, step back, left leg. And plant the back foot and come up through your warrior two position and straighten the front leg to prepare for triangle, Trikonasana. So finding yourself sideways onto your mat, hitching that hip out to the back, reaching long and over the front leg. Maybe the front leg is bent, but the back leg is straight. We come into that Trikonasana pose, fingertips reaching to the sky, fingertips reaching to the earth. Nice, big, expansive, strong, steady, and stable triangle. Use the core, use the back muscles, press through the feet, bring yourself back up, bend the front knee through that warrior two, releasing, windmill the hands over, frame the front foot, step back into plank. Find a connecting vinyasa. Back bend of choice, and back into downward facing dog. Taking a moment to just pause, maybe finding a tabletop or a child's pose, or just holding the down dog with a couple of breaths. Looking forward to the front of the mat and walk the feet all the way in. Inhale, bring yourself all the way up to stand. And exhale, hands down to the heart center. Prepare mentally for the last posture on our left. So inhale, upward salute. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. And then exhale, step back, and I'm going to change sides with your right leg. Plant the back foot and windmill those arms up, coming into your warrior two position. First of all, drawing those inner thighs together as you straighten through the front leg. Nice. Finding the chest and the hips sideways on. And then hitch that hip out behind you as you reach over the rib cage. Hand comes down to thigh, calf, shin, or ankle or block. Open the front body here. Expansive wings. Fingertips reach up towards the sky. We're supporting that side body here, using our core muscles to support the torso. Press through the feet. Use the core to come back up. Bend gently through the front knee. Warrior two as you windmill. Pivot on the back toes. Hands come down. We step back through that plank position. Lower knees. Chest chin as you breathe out. And inhale, cobra. And exhale, downward facing dog. Find 3 breaths. Come down to a child's pose when you feel ready. That is all of our 12. Sivananda asana. We've gone from the crown to the root. Using the spine, working through the chakra system. And moving with the steadiness and pace of our breath. And Sivananda is one of the older lineages of Hatha Yoga. It really brings in, the actual purpose of yoga, balancing, harmonizing mind, body, and soul. Bring the hands back to the knees as you gently and slowly roll up through the spine. Come to kneeling. Hopefully you're somewhere at the back of your mat. Just roll the shoulders up and away, letting them drop down the back. And just sit nice and tall here. Navel draws in, shoulders above hips, hips above heels. Maybe the eyes are closed, but you just feel the length of your spine here. And just do a seated cat and cow. So releasing through flexion. Releasing through back bend. Exhale, rounding. Inhale, lengthening. And then come to stillness. Take a moment to just check in, see how you feel after your practice. Haven't quite finished yet, so wherever you are on your mat, swing yourself around and come down onto your back. When you get there, just gently draw the knees in towards the chest. Soften the spine, spread the waist, the rib cage, and the shoulder blades. Keep the neck nice and long. The chin is spaced away from the sternum. And you can start to open out those knees to one side, circling into the hip joints. And the thing with the Sivananda 12 is it doesn't really cover a lot of hip opening postures. It's mainly working through the front and the back gates of the body, very, very kind of linear. So back bends, forward folds, twists, and side stretches. Move the knees around as you massage into the lower back. Again, this is just honoring your practice. And then take the legs long and the arms out to the side of you. Just find a neutral, symmetrical Shavasana. Relax the toes, relax the ankles, soften into the calves, soften into the thighs. Move away anything that's touching the hands or the feet, kick them or push them aside. And just turn the gaze to look over your right shoulder, dropping the chin down to that shoulder, stretching out through the left side of the neck. Breathe in, bring the head back into center, the back of the skull rolls over to the left, dropping the chin to your left shoulder.
Breathe in, come back into center. If you need to support the head weight, please do. But if you want, you can lift the head and look along the body. Shoulders might still stay down, but you're just stretching through the back of the neck. Pulling navel to spine, spine to mat. And then gently release, lengthen the neck, bring the back of the skull back down. Lift the arms up above the head, big, big body stretch. You might like to interlace the fingers and push the palms away. Point the toes, big, big stretch. Back tends to arch here. So just notice what happens if you then pull the belly to the spine and the spine to the mat. And then release, gather the knees in once more, squeeze. Place the soles of the feet wide of your mat, toes facing downwards, knees apart. Arms might be in cactus or in shoulder height. And then drop the knees over one way and look to the other. Just a wide-legged reclined twist. Breathe the head back into center. Bring the knees back into center. Let the knees drop over to the other side. And lift and turn the gaze to the right hand. Bring the head back into center. Bring the knees back into center. Heel toe the feet back into the center. Widen the knees. Take a butterfly pose here. And bring the hands onto the belly. I'm just going to stay here for 10 spinal breaths. Breathing in from root to crown. And breathing out from crown to root. A few more breaths here. Spinal breaths. Inhaling root to crown, exhaling crown to root. Release the hands from the belly to the outer thighs. Use the hands and the arms to lift the legs together. Place the soles of the feet wide as the knees drop in towards one another and just rest the hands on the hip flexors. Heel toe, feet back into parallel, drawing knees in gently, giving yourself another little squeeze, another little release through the spine, another little roll out, and preparing yourself for final relaxation in Shavasana, making yourself warm and comfortable, using props as you need to, maybe a block underneath the head, maybe a bolster underneath the knees, but just spread out and take the whole of your mat space. Arms are out to the side of you, palms are gently facing upwards, shoulder blades are spread apart, and the feet relax. We're not having to hold our legs in place. We can relax from the hips, and that in turn goes all the way down the legs to the ankles. So making any final adjustments so that you can stay in this corpse pose, our Shavasana, for a number of minutes, drawing the attention into the present moment, not letting the mind become distracted and be pulled away from your very much deserved reward. Steadying now the breath, the heart rate, letting go of tension, tightness, relaxing all of the muscle groups, letting the joints and the bones become heavy to the earth. I'm going to give you silence for the remainder of your Shavasana. I will let you know when it's time to come back around. Begin to take some deeper breaths. Bringing your awareness back into your surroundings, back onto the mat. Wiggling fingers, wiggling toes. Moving into the wrists, moving into the ankles. Take as much time as you need to awaken. Maybe stretching. Maybe drawing knees in. And take as much time to come back up to seated as your body requires. Returning up to that nice, easy pose, Sukhasana. Comfortable for you, bringing the hands into the heart center, Anjali Mudra. Sit nice and tall as you feel grounded, rooted, centered to the earth. Long, tall, extended spine to the sky. Remember the words behind the rust, there is always shine. And remind yourself of your own personal intention for practice, what you needed most, what you needed to receive, and what you're going to be able to take away into the rest of your day. And always thank your body, your breath, for everything that it is capable of and what it does for you each and every day. And I thank you so much. Namaste.